Are you trying to build the best team in Madden? Well, head on over to instantmuttcoins.com to avoid the packs, save some racks. Link is in the description below. Use code CC now for 20% off. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We are here today and we are discussing the potential 91 to 92 overall power pass that is going to be coming with Series 3. Now, we don't know if it's a 91 overall or 91 to 92, or there's going to be a 91 and a 92. We don't know, but I want to cover all of our bases here. So we're going to cover them both. I have 5, right? If you enjoy this video, please do like it, consider subscribing, all that sort of good stuff. Let's get into this today. Okay, we got some cards to discuss, and there are definitely some cards. Now, anytime we discuss power passes, there's really two ways we want to do it. One, it's a card you already have and you can make coins on, or two, it's a card you want to add to your team. And if it's a card you want to add to your team, I think that the best way to do that truly is just who you want, right? Who's going to fill that gap, that hole, that need for you, right? So like for me on my no money spin account, there's so many cards, right? But one key thing with the power up pass is you need to have the power up and all that. So it's going to extinguish a lot of the potential 50 cards that we would want to get from it. It's going to focus much more on limited edition cards, generally. Maybe some legends, generally, right? So let's go take a look here at this. So 91 overalls. We're gonna have there's quite a few of them, honestly. Tyrone Calico, he's probably not the guy I want. Corey Dillon, probably not the guy I want. Probably not many Team of the Week cards, right? Unless you're maybe doing a theme team, likely not falling in that range. Again, similar with legends. Legends aren't very expensive at all. So you can, if you're waiting for, say, a Mean Joe or a Kim Mawai, sure, that could be something, but probably not. Again, with the 91s, one thing you want to take in and consider here for these 50 cards is the power up price, right? You can go ahead, and if you have a card in mind and you want to go get, say, the Reggie Bush or the Taylor Mays power up, you can do that right now at their price. It's not overly priced, and you'll be able to have that card on your team. A lot of times when people talk about power up pass, they talk about someone you want to have long term. Well, you can switch this power up pass out constantly. So I really wouldn't worry about long term so much, because things are going to change so much over the next month, 6 weeks, whatever it may be, right? So obviously some cards I really like that I think are still have that value as like, being one of the better cards in the game. When we look at the 50, it's definitely Reggie Bush and Taylor Mays at 91 overall. Those cards are really good. When we talk about Team of the Week, one of the only cards I would really look at here is Tyler Lockett. Now, if Chase Claypool gets a power up, I would include him in that mix there as well. Someone like Dawkins is an expensive card. He's not the best free safety. We'd be looking at our 92 power pass for him. Additionally, for 91 overall, Deion Sanders is probably someone who does normally get those upgrades, right? He gets those upgrades pretty normally, and is A, still a really good card, because he is, and B, has the staying power. Now, one of the other Team of the Week cards that I would consider is a limited, and it's Stephon Diggs, who's a really good card. His power up and his base elite are not super expensive. You're probably talking 40,000 coins to get both of those, plus the training to get him up there. He is one of the top tier receivers in the game currently, and you're not spending a ton on him. But is Stephon Diggs going to be a card that you really want to keep going after and getting? Probably not, right? So to me, a card like Stephon Diggs fills a real temporary void. Real temporary void. If I was going to look at a 91 power pass, for my case, someone like Darren Waller, who is a top tier card at their position still, and has the potential to get other cards, is someone I really do like. I really like Waller. I think he's a great card in the game. Okay? I truly do. I truly think that he's a great card. So for me personally, on my money spent account, I'm going to look at trying to get the most coins back, which means a Waller for me, right? Which could be a Deion Sanders, a Michael Vick, Cards like that, which really make a lot of sense for me personally. Now, for my no money spent team, again, I think the way I would want to go with this is either Bush, Mays, or Dion. Personally, those are the 3 cards that I would be looking at here. Now, Waller would be great for the no money spent team, but I can get away with a lesser tight end generally. But if I can have a better lockdown player on defense who's going to be on the field making plays as one of the 11 constantly is more valuable. I think that in this case, with some of the offensive cards we have out right now, none of them are, at this overall are dominant. Richie Bush is really good, but you probably could have picked up that Raheem Mostert, who's very similar if you don't ability them up. So at 91 overall, that's where I'm looking. Okay. When we get to 92, the gap spreads a little bit. Now, one of the only 50 cards that I have in mind at this point is DRC. Okay, now his power-up is a little expensive, but he is such a good card. He really is. If you happen to want a quarterback, the Brett Favre or Dante Culpepper, again, not bad choices. Favre's power-up is cheaper. Culpepper's power-up is really expensive. Using a power-up pass to still spend 300,000 coins doesn't make a lot of sense at this point. It just doesn't. So I would take Culpepper sort of off your radar there. When we look at the legends at 92 overall, they really didn't stand out a lot. You see Steve Smith, Deacon Jones, Edgerrin James here. None of these cards are super cool, right? Scary Terry is a really good card. You can get his power up for about 25k, his gold card for about 10k. Bam, and you can get that. But again, the price point isn't crazy there. If you happen to have him, yeah, you can pocket an extra 200k. But if you already happen to have a DRC, if you're looking, so I would like to make coins. DRC is a card that a lot of people have. He's 375,000 coins. That's a lot more coins back in your pocket, right? A lot more. So much more. Oh my God, so much more. When we talk about other good 92 overalls, I want to talk about these sets of limiteds that just came out, which actually had a really high price point. Devin McCourty is the best free safety in the game. His power up, his base card are not really expensive at all. He plays very well. He's going to have 94 man and 99 zone on base. You should have that on your team, essentially. And by using the power up pass on a Devin McCourty, it really means that you're going to be able to not worry about that card so much. You're going to want to be able to transfer that card because we are going to get other really good free safeties, in my opinion. The prospect of a Sean Taylor or a free safety Calvin Johnson coming at some point down the line is very intriguing. More intriguing than spending 800,000 coins on this card. He plays very well and he is very good, right? When we look at strong safety, again, it's a very overpopulated position, but Troy P is another really good choice if you want to make some coins back that way. No problem there. We had Saquon limited edition come out recently. Again, a very expensive card here. He's expensive. And he's really good. But I wouldn't be paying 850,000 coins for him. I had Saquon on my team and I actually sold him. I thought it was a good card, but it's not worth these coins. Especially when I could get a LaDainian, I could get an Edgerrin James, Bo Jackson. All these cards still very comparable, very good. Even without powering them up all the way. Very, very good cards. Very good. And I still think Reggie Bush is better because of his archetype and the ability points he can get for Backfield Master. So again, it just makes sense. Sitting there makes sense. At receiver, again, this is a skill position we want. It's just not very deep right now. Between Carmichael, Hopkins, Steve Smith, you could decide on a Julio Jones. The problem with the Julio Jones here is that you do have to power him up, and he does have a Redux in the way, which is an expensive card as well. So you probably don't want to do Julio, even though that's a card I really like. Again, we mentioned before Stephon Diggs, who's a 92, not a 91. Sort of the same way. If I had to power up past Julio or Diggs, and I didn't want to spend the money on the Redux, Diggs is the way to go. 100%. 100%. When we look at cornerback here, again, we talked about DRC. He makes more sense. Antonio Cromartie's power up is quite expensive. Linebackers, I would kind of be avoiding them. They're not the best cards in the game. They don't do a whole lot. Defensive ends as well. generally dime a dozen, right? Aaron Donald is a really good card, but to power him up is going to end up costing you about 80 to 90,000 coins first before the actual training points. Not a bad price, but still not cheap, right? And again, you're going to see defensive ends come and go. They're going to happen between, you got Robert Mathis, Javon Curse here, Joey Bosa, lots of these cards. Bosa's getting a redux, right? Mathis, his card's always going to be around 350,000 coins for the limited right there. It just makes sense. If you want to go lineman, you obviously could. If you want to go tight end, you'd be looking at Vernon Davis, but again, his power up is indeed very expensive. So the whole idea that the 50 with the power ups being really expensive throws us off a bit here, and I'm focusing much more on limiteds or replacing a 50 card that we have. For me personally, when I get my power up pass, I'm going to use it to get the most coins back possible. And at this point for me, it is Devin McCourty. Okay, it is Devin McCourty. If that changes and his price does fall quite a bit, my eyes are going to be looking at a DRC, an Antonio Cromartie. These cards I already do have powered up. When we get to the no money spent team, again, I have to look away from some of these 50 cards, but DRC is a card I have my eye on. Stephon Diggs is a card I have my eye on, where I can't be spending hundreds of thousands of coins to power a card up. I really only want to be spending under 100k, and I'm okay with overpaying for a power up on a really, really good card. DRC, Taylor Mays, those types of cards in particular. But keep your eye on the market. As soon as you get the power up pass, go back, see what you have on your team, what you need on your team, and check the market on the cards you have on your team. It just makes the most sense. Again, one small thing that you want to look at here is that cards that have just come out are probably much further away from getting future upgrades, right? A card like Dion, who's been out quite a while, is more likely to get an upgrade sooner, right? A Reggie Bush, Taylor Mays, those cards probably going to get an upgrade Christmas time, I would imagine, right? Antonio Cromartie, probably not going to get one for a while, not for a couple months. So just keep that in mind. And that is why I always think, what makes me the most coins? Because coin is king. And the more you have, the more you can do. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take this advice. Be great. Good luck. And I'm out. Peace.